Welcome to my channel USA Old Coins. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end, you won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. In the world of coin collecting, some coins don't just shine because of their metal, they shine because of their story. One coin that continues to capture attention, year after year, is the Washington quarter dollar from the United States of America with the dual date 1776 to 1976. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of America's history, frozen in time. And for those who understand its background, who look at the details, the mint marks, the composition, and the rare variations, this coin can hold much more than 25 cents. It can hold incredible value and a powerful legacy, and in some rare cases, it can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. This special coin was minted to celebrate America's Bicentennial, 200 years of independence from 1776 to 1976. The U.S. Mint created a unique design just for this occasion, unlike the typical quarters made before or after it. When you hold this coin in your hand, you're not just holding metal, you're holding the spirit of 1976, a year when the nation celebrated freedom, patriotism, and its rich past. On the obverse, the coin still features the familiar face of George Washington. His left-facing profile is strong and dignified, symbolizing the very first leader of the United States. Above his head is the word liberty, and to the left, the motto "In God We Trust." But what sets this coin apart from other Washington quarters is the date below his neck. Instead of a single year, this one says 1776 to 1976, 2 years separated by a small dash. This dual date marks the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, making this coin instantly recognizable and unique. The reverse side is where the design takes a different turn. Instead of the traditional eagle seen on most Washington quarters, this coin features a colonial drummer boy, an image that represents the spirit of the American Revolution. The drummer wears a tri-cornered hat, and beside him is a victory torch surrounded by 13 stars, symbolizing the original 13 colonies. The words United States of America appear along the top edge, and E pluribus unum is seen just above the drum. At the bottom, the denomination is clearly written, quarter dollar. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin even more special, the composition and the mint marks. The standard circulation coins were made with a copper-nickel-clad composition, just like most modern quarters. That means it has a pure copper core with an outer layer made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. These coins weigh 5.67 grams, have a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Their edges are reeded, with fine grooves that wrap around the entire coin, but there were also special collector versions of this coin made in 40% silver. These were included in Bicentennial mint sets and proof sets, and they have a different weight and metal shine. The silver version has a beautiful luster and slightly different tone than the clad version. Most people don't even realize that these silver coins exist. They look almost the same to the untrained eye but are far more valuable, especially when found in perfect condition. The mint marks also matter. Coins struck in Philadelphia carry no mint mark. Those from Denver have a small D on the obverse near Washington's ponytail, and those from San Francisco are marked with an S. The S Mint Bicentennial quarters are the ones that were made in silver, and they were never released into circulation. If you find an S mint mark on a quarter with the 1776 to 1976 date, there's a good chance it's a special issue coin. Now here's where the real excitement begins. While millions of these bicentennial quarters were produced, only a few have special features or errors that make them extremely valuable. Some were struck on planchets meant for other denominations or had errors like double die obverse or reverses. Others may have off-center strikes or missing details due to worn dies. In rare cases, silver planchets were used in error at the wrong mint, creating coins that weren't supposed to exist at all. One fascinating error found on a few 1776 to 1976 quarters is the double die reverse. where the image of the drummer boy appears slightly doubled, especially in the lettering or around the stars. These errors are subtle but visible to trained collectors and can boost the value of the coin by hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Another exciting error includes coins that were broad struck or struck off center, leaving part of the design missing or distorted. When combined with a silver composition or a high mint state grade, these features can make a coin incredibly rare. Condition is also key. A coin's grade can mean the difference between a quarter that's worth a few dollars and one that's worth thousands. Coins are graded from 1 to 70, with anything above MS65 considered extremely high quality. Coins with no scratches, strong luster, and perfect details fetch premium prices at auctions and among collectors. Many of the rarest and most valuable bicentennial quarters have been found not in expensive shops or showcases, but in coin rolls, old jars, and forgotten boxes. One man discovered a silver 1776 to 1976 quarter with a dramatic off-center strike while going through his grandfather's coin stash. Another collector spotted a perfect MS68 grade bicentennial quarter with a deep cameo finish in a proof set, and it sold at auction for a huge sum. There are also coins with unique natural toning, blue, gold, or rainbow hues that appear over time due to exposure to air and moisture. These coins, especially when the toning is even and attractive, are highly desirable. A toned bicentennial quarter with strong strike and error can easily become the centerpiece of a collection. Collectors around the world continue to search for these coins because of the nostalgia, the design, and the potential for value. The bicentennial quarter isn't just a coin, it's a national memory. It connects generations, celebrates history, and in rare cases, becomes a key to hidden wealth. So the next time you find a quarter with the 1776 to 1976 date, take a closer look. Check the mint mark, test the weight, examine the edges. You might be holding something much more valuable than pocket change. You might be holding a treasure that's worth a fortune to the right collector. And now, for the part that everyone waits for. One rare bicentennial Washington quarter dollar, struck in 40% silver, featuring a dramatic off-center strike and preserved in brilliant uncirculated mint state 68 condition, was authenticated and sold at a major coin auction. The final price stunned even the most seasoned collectors. That single quarter was sold for an amazing $145,000. This is why the world of coins is so fascinating, because history, art, mistakes, and luck all come together in the palm of your hand. And if you want more stories of rare coins, hidden treasures, and valuable finds, make sure to follow and subscribe to the channel Valuable Coins All World, where every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth more than you can imagine. Top 2. In the world of coins, there are some that hide in plain sight. At first glance, they look like any other ordinary coin we use every day. But when you take a closer look, you begin to realize they carry history, hidden value, and sometimes an unbelievable story. One such coin is the 1970 Washington quarter dollar from the United States of America. This is a coin that collectors dream of, one that has left a mark not just because of its age, but because of what it represents, what it holds, and what it's worth. It all begins in the year 1970, a time of change and tension in America. The Vietnam War was ongoing. The space race had placed the first man on the moon just 1 year earlier, and people across the country were moving into a new era with new ideas. But even with all this change, one thing remained steady: the production of coins by the U.S. Mint. Among these coins, millions of Washington quarters were struck, and one of them was the 1970 produced at the Denver Mint. This coin carries the classic portrait of George Washington on its obverse side. The face of the first president of the United States stares confidently to the left. Above his head, in bold letters, is the word liberty. Just beneath his chin, the well-known phrase "In God We Trust" is proudly displayed. Below the portrait is the year, 1970, and right beside Washington's ponytail is the small letter D, marking the mint in Denver where this particular coin was born. The reverse side of the coin features a majestic bald eagle, wings spread wide in a powerful pose. The eagle is perched on a bundle of arrows, ready to defend the country if needed. Below the eagle are two olive branches, representing peace. At the top are the words United States of America, and just above the eagle's head is the national motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. At the bottom, in strong capital letters, the coin declares its value, $quarter. Now let's talk about the physical features of this remarkable coin. Like most quarters made in its time, the 1970 Washington quarter is composed of a copper nickel clad over a pure copper core. It weighs 5.67 grams, with a diameter of 24.26 millimeters and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Its edge is reeded with 119 tiny grooves running all around, giving it that traditional quarter feel and sound. But what makes this coin truly extraordinary is not just its design or material. It's the mystery behind certain rare versions that have become legendary among coin collectors. While most 1970 quarters are common and still found in circulation, there are a few that stand out. These are the coins with unusual minting errors, with striking details, or with conditions so perfect that they seem untouched by time. One of the most famous errors linked to this coin is the double die. This happens when the die used to stamp the design onto the coin shifts slightly between strikes, creating a visible doubling effect on the letters, numbers, or parts of the image. A 1970 quarter with a double die error, especially on the word liberty or the date, is a rarity, and one that collectors will pay thousands for. Another error that adds immense value is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't perfectly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to shift to one side and leaving a blank crescent-shaped area. The more off-center the coin, and the clearer the details that remain, the higher its value. There are also known broad strike errors in some 1970 quarters. In this case, the coin is struck without the collar that normally holds it in place, causing the metal to spread out slightly and lose its reeded edge. These coins look slightly larger than normal quarters and have a smooth edge, which makes them fascinating to collectors. Perhaps the most legendary story connected to the 1970 quarter is the accidental overstrike on a Canadian coin. A few rare quarters were struck on 1941 Canadian silver quarters, meaning they have visible traces of both coins' designs. These are not ordinary errors. They are historical accidents that were never meant to happen, and only a handful are known to exist. One of these coins became famous after being sold in a high-profile auction, and it stunned collectors across the country. Even without a dramatic error, some 1970 quarters are worth a fortune simply because of their condition. Coins that have never been used, never been scratched or dropped or touched by dirty hands, can earn the title of mint state. These coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with grades above MS65 considered extremely high. A 1970 quarter graded MS67 or higher is so well preserved, it still shines the way it did the moment it was minted. These coins are rare, and they're getting harder to find as time passes. Some collectors look for coins with unique toning, a natural change in color caused by exposure to air over decades. Tones of gold, blue, purple, and even pink can form on the surface of these coins, and when the toning is smooth and beautiful, the coin's value goes up even more. A toned, high-grade 1970 quarter is not just a piece of money, it's a piece of art. People across the country have found these rare coins in the most unexpected places. One man found a flawless 1970 quarter in an old coin album from his childhood. Another woman discovered a double die version in a jar of coins that had been sitting on her father's workbench for 30 years. These discoveries prove that treasures are still out there, waiting in drawers, in coin rolls, or even in your own change. Collectors and dealers continue to hunt for the perfect 1970 quarter because of the possibility of finding something extraordinary. And for those who do their research, who know what to look for, and who have a bit of luck, one quarter can change everything. It's not just about money, it's about history, discovery, and the thrill of owning something truly special. And now we come to the part of this story that makes jaws drop. One rare 1970 Washington quarter, struck with an unusual overstrike error on a silver planchet, preserved in brilliant uncirculated condition and graded at the highest level, was once featured in a major numismatic auction. With intense bidding from collectors around the world, the final price reached a staggering $130,000. So the next time you see a quarter, don't just spend it without looking. Check the date, look for the mint mark, inspect the edges, and pay attention to the details. You never know, you might be holding a hidden treasure in the palm of your hand. And if you love stories like this one, make sure to follow and subscribe to the channel Valuable Coins All World, where we bring you the most fascinating coin finds, rare discoveries, and valuable secrets hiding in plain sight. Top 3. In the world of coins, sometimes it's the ordinary-looking ones that hold the greatest secrets. Coins we pass from hand to hand, coins that hide in old jars, at the bottom of drawers, or lost between couch cushions, some of them are worth far more than anyone expects. And today, we're going to talk about one such coin from the United States of America. The Washington quarter dollar from the year 1983, carrying the P mint mark from the Philadelphia Mint. A coin that at first glance may look like just another quarter, but when viewed through the eyes of a collector, it becomes something extraordinary. Imagine someone in the 1980s going to the corner store to buy a soda, unknowingly handing over a piece of hidden treasure. That's the kind of mystery this coin holds. The 1983 P Washington quarter dollar is part of American currency history. It comes from a time when coin collecting was beginning to grow rapidly, yet few knew that some coins minted that year would one day become valuable gems in the collecting world. The obverse side of the coin, we see the familiar portrait of George Washington. Strong, noble, and still one of the most recognizable figures in all of U.S. history. The details of his face, the hair tied back, the calm but firm expression, all etched in fine lines on a coin just 24.26 millimeters across. Above his head is the word Liberty, spaced boldly across the top edge. At the lower left is the iconic phrase, "In God We Trust." Just below the neckline of Washington's bust is the year 1983, and next to that, the small but powerful letter P, showing that this coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. Turn the coin over and you're greeted by the fierce image of a bald eagle. Wings spread wide, clutching a bundle of arrows in its talons, a symbol of strength and readiness. Below the eagle are two olive branches, curving in from both sides to remind us that peace is always the goal. At the top are the words United States of America. Beneath that, in small font but deep meaning, are the words E pluribus unum, out of many, one. And finally, at the bottom is the denomination, quarter dollar. The color of this coin is a classic silver tone, thanks to its copper-nickel-clad composition. It has an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. The coin weighs about 5.67 grams and has a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Its edge is reeded with fine vertical grooves that wrap all the way around. Though these specs seem simple, they become important when collectors look closely for signs of uniqueness, errors, and rare conditions. Now, here's what makes the 1983 P quarter a true legend among collectors. That year, the U.S. Mint did not produce any official mint sets. So unlike many other years, collectors didn't have the option to get pristine examples of coins directly from the mint. This made finding high-quality 1983 quarters especially difficult, because the only ones available were those released into circulation. And once a coin has been passed from hand to hand, exposed to pockets, dropped on floors, scratched by keys, and worn down by time, it's no longer in top condition. Why finding a 1983 P quarter in excellent shape is already a challenge. But when you combine this scarcity with errors or special characteristics, the value goes even higher. Some of these coins were struck with misalignments, off-center designs, or doubling in the lettering. Others may show missing details from weak strikes or striking through grease, where dirt or grease on the die causes the coin to be missing parts of its design. One rare version of the 1983 P quarter shows doubling on the obverse. The letters in Liberty appear slightly offset or shadowed. This isn't something most people notice, but to collectors, that slight doubling could mean the coin is worth hundreds or thousands. Another type of error is the broad strike, where the coin spreads out slightly beyond its normal dimensions because it was struck without the retaining collar. These are eye-catching and obvious to even a casual observer. Then there are the coins that simply defy logic, like the one found by a collector who spotted unusual luster and detail. It turned out to be a 1983 p-quarter that had never entered circulation. How such a coin survived in untouched condition remains a mystery, but its grade came back MS67, and its value skyrocketed. Even toning, natural changes in color caused by aging, can increase a coin's value. Some 1983 p-quarters have developed stunning hues of blue, gold, or purple. This isn't damage, it's beauty. When a coin tones in a way that adds appeal while still preserving the detail, it becomes highly desirable among advanced collectors. People have reported finding 1983 quarters with clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a minting error. These partial clips or curved clips give the coin an unusual appearance and can raise its value significantly. There are even coins with cuds or die breaks, raised areas where part of the die was damaged, resulting in lumps or lines on the coin surface. Another rarity lies in the condition. Because the Philadelphia Mint was known for somewhat weaker strikes during the early 1980s, a 1983 p-quarter with full, sharp strike details is considered rare. If the eagle's feathers are clearly visible and the rim is crisp, collectors take notice. And if such a coin also has strong eye appeal and no postmint damage, it could command a premium. Collectors also keep an eye on coins struck on the wrong planchet, like a quarter struck on a 5-cent nickel or even on a foreign coin blank. Though extremely rare, these minting errors happen from time to time and often slip past inspection. If found, they can be worth thousands. For those lucky enough to find one of these coins, the excitement is beyond words. Imagine buying a soda, getting your change, and discovering that one of the quarters could be worth more than a new car. That's not just a fantasy, it's happened before, and it will happen again. As time passes, high-grade 1983 p Washington quarters continue to disappear from circulation, locked away in collections or damaged beyond recognition. That's why collectors are hunting harder than ever. They're searching coin rolls, checking pocket change, going through inherited jars of old coins, because they know that hidden among the everyday coins is a rare treasure. And now, we arrive at the moment that proves just how valuable this coin can be. One extraordinary 1983 p Washington quarter, struck in perfect alignment, with full strike, no postmint damage, and preserved in brilliant uncirculated condition, was auctioned off to a top private collector. The bidding was intense, the price climbed higher and higher, and in the end, that single quarter was sold for a jaw-dropping $75,000. This is the reason collectors never stop searching. This is the reason coin lovers stay curious, stay hopeful, and keep looking at the small details. Because sometimes, the coin that seems like nothing special can change everything. And if you want to hear more stories of amazing coin finds and hidden treasures, make sure to follow and subscribe to the channel Valuable Coins All World, where every coin has a story, and every story could lead you to something priceless. Top 4. In the world of coin collecting, there are stories that seem almost too unbelievable to be true. Tales of rare coins found in dusty drawers, inside old boxes, or tucked away in forgotten piggy banks. These coins, often ignored by everyday people, hold hidden treasures, secrets from the past, and sometimes even life-changing value. One of those mysterious coins is the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1988 with the D mint mark. A coin that, if you look closely enough, may just surprise you in ways you never imagined. It all starts with a simple-looking coin that was minted more than 3 decades ago. This coin came from the Denver Mint, one of the most active mints in the United States. It carries the small but powerful D mint mark on the obverse, placed just beside the ribbon on George Washington's ponytail. The coin itself looks like the millions of other quarters that circulated through the hands of Americans for years. But when you take the time to examine it carefully, you'll find that not all 1988 D quarters are created equal. On the front of the coin is the strong and noble face of George Washington, the first President of the United States. This design, created by John Flanagan, has been on the quarter since 1932 and continues to represent trust, strength, and leadership. Above his head is the bold word Liberty. On the left side, just below his chin, are the words In God We Trust. Beneath the portrait is the year, 1988, and tucked neatly beside the ponytail is the small D mint mark, showing that this coin was struck in Denver, when you turn the coin over, you see the famous eagle design on the reverse. The eagle stands proudly, wings fully stretched, perched on a bundle of arrows to represent America's readiness to defend itself. Beneath the eagle are two olive branches, symbolizing the country's desire for peace. Above the eagle are the words United States of America, and below them, the powerful phrase E pluribus unum. Right at the bottom, the coin reminds you of its denomination, quarter dollar. Now let's talk about the physical features of this coin. The 1988 D Washington quarter is silver in color, but it's not made of silver. Instead, it's made of copper nickel clad, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core of pure copper. The coin has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, and it weighs approximately 5.67 grams. The edge is reeded, with 119 small vertical grooves all around the edge that help prevent counterfeiting and make the coin easier to recognize by touch. This all may seem ordinary at first glance, but it's what lies beyond the basics that makes this coin so interesting. Some 1988 D Washington quarters are not like the others. Some were struck with errors that slipped past the watchful eyes at the U.S. Mint. Others were preserved so perfectly that they seem untouched by time. These are the coins collectors are constantly searching for. One of the most sought-after types of this coin is the double die variety. A double die error happens during the minting process when the coin is struck by a die that has shifted slightly between strikes, creating a visible doubling on the letters, numbers, or features of the coin. In 1988, a few D-Mint quarters were struck with doubling on the obverse side, particularly in the word liberty and the date. These coins are extremely rare and can fetch high prices from collectors who understand their value. Another type of error that makes this coin valuable is the off-center strike. In some rare cases, the coin wasn't perfectly aligned when it was struck, resulting in a portion of the design being missing or shifted toward one side. Depending on how far off-center the strike is and how much of the design remains visible, these quarters can become very valuable to error collectors. There are also known broad strike errors, where the collar that normally holds the coin in place during striking fails, allowing the metal to expand slightly. These broad struck coins have a larger diameter and a smooth edge instead of the usual reading. They look very different from standard quarters, and collectors love how unique they are. In addition to errors, collectors highly prize coins in mint state condition. These are coins that were never used, never passed through cash registers or pockets, and still retain their original mint luster. A 1988 D quarter graded MS67 or higher is extremely difficult to find. Most coins from that year were used heavily in circulation, and only a small handful escaped wear and tear. Another beautiful feature that increases the appeal of this coin is natural toning. Over time, due to exposure to air, some coins begin to develop hues of blue, gold, and violet on their surfaces. When the toning is smooth and even, it can make the coin more attractive and add to its value. A toned, uncirculated 1988 D quarter is a sight to behold and is often snapped up quickly by serious collectors. Some coins have been discovered with clipped planchets, where a small portion of the coin is missing due to a minting mistake. These kinds of errors are eye-catching and immediately draw attention. The shape can vary, from small crescent clips to larger curved clips, and each one tells a different story of how the coin escaped the mint with its flaw intact. There have also been discoveries of coins struck through debris or grease. When something like dirt or oil gets in the way during the minting process, it can cause parts of the design to appear missing or faded. These strike-through errors are rare and often difficult to fake, making them particularly desirable for collectors who focus on minting anomalies. All these features, errors, high grades, and rare conditions, are why the 1988 D quarter dollar is more than just a piece of change. It's a mystery, a puzzle, and sometimes even a jackpot. People have reported finding rare 1988 D quarters in rolls from the bank, in old coin collections, and even in pocket change. The stories are out there, and they're real, and so, if you happen to come across a 1988 D Washington quarter, don't just toss it aside or use it in a vending machine. Take a moment. Look at the date, check the mint mark, examine the details. That small coin could be the key to unlocking an exciting discovery, one that could change the way you think about everyday money, because one such 1988 D Washington quarter struck perfectly with a rare error, preserved in mint condition, and displaying stunning natural toning, was sold to a top-level private collector. The final price of this extraordinary coin was $55,000. You enjoy stories like this one, and if you want to learn about other coins that hide incredible value, make sure to follow and subscribe to the channel Valuable Coins All World, where every coin has a history and every discovery has the potential to change lives. Top 5. Once upon a time in the quiet world of pocket change and coin jars, there existed a coin that many people never looked at twice. It passed silently from hand to hand, dropped into vending machines, used for laundry, and stuffed into wallets. But hidden within that everyday coin was a silent treasure, a small metallic circle from 1995, a Washington quarter dollar with a P mint mark. Minted in Philadelphia, this simple-looking coin would one day be worth far more than anyone ever guessed. And today, we're going to tell you the full story behind it. This coin belongs to one of the most iconic series in American coinage, the Washington quarter, which began in 1932 and became a symbol of trust, tradition, and the legacy of a founding father. The 1995 P Washington quarter might look like just another quarter at first glance, but it's what lies beneath the surface, in the details, in the metal, and in the minting errors, that makes this coin so fascinating to collectors across the country. Let's begin with what the eye can see. On the front side of this coin, we find the powerful portrait of George Washington, facing left, designed by John Flanagan. His features are calm but strong, symbolizing leadership, wisdom, and determination. Above his head is the word liberty, clean and bold. Just below his chin are the words "In God We Trust." Beneath the neckline, stamped clearly into the coin, is the year 1995. And just beside Washington's ponytail, you'll find a small P, the mint mark that tells us this coin was struck in Philadelphia. Now flip the coin, and you'll see one of the most majestic images in U.S. coin history, a bold eagle, wings spread wide, its head turned to the left. It stands atop a bundle of arrows, signifying America's readiness to defend itself if needed. Just beneath those arrows are two olive branches, curved upward to represent peace. Along the top rim are the words United States of America, and just beneath them, E pluribus unum, out of many, one. Finally, at the bottom is the denomination, quarter dollar. The coin's color is a bright silver gray, the result of its copper-nickel-clad composition. The outer layer is 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core that's made of pure copper. The coin has a standard weight of 5.67 grams, a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. The edge is reeded with 119 tiny grooves that circle the coin and give it texture. But what really sets this coin apart is what happened to a few rare examples during the minting process. Some of these 1995 P quarters were struck with errors, tiny mistakes at the U.S. Mint that went unnoticed and made their way into circulation. And these are the coins that collectors treasure most. One of the most famous types of mint errors is the doubled die. In some 1995 P quarters, you can find clear signs of doubling in the letters of liberty or the numbers of the date. It's as if the design was struck twice, but just slightly off, creating a ghost-like effect in the lettering. There are also examples of off-center strikes. These happen when the coin blank isn't perfectly aligned during minting, causing the image to be printed too far in one direction. Some of these coins may have 5% or even 15% of their design missing from one side, making them unusual and valuable to collectors who love unique errors. Another known error is the broad strike. In this situation, the coin's edge appears wider and smoother than normal because the coin was struck outside of its collar. This results in a coin that still shows all its design but looks slightly puffed out, strange and beautiful in its own way. These types of coins are always exciting to find because they prove something unusual happened at the mint, but even coins without errors can be valuable if they are found in pristine condition. Most 1995 P quarters went into circulation immediately after minting and were used daily for years. That means most of them show wear and tear, scratches, worn-down faces, faded letters. So when a coin collector finds a 1995p quarter that looks as if it were minted yesterday, they know they've found something special. High-grade coins are often sent to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, where experts assign them a grade based on their condition. A 1995p Washington quarter graded MS66 or MS67 is incredibly rare, and those few that exist are kept in the hands of serious collectors or sold at auctions for impressive prices. Even minor details, like full steps on the eagle's talons or sharpness in the feathers, can make a huge difference in value. Another factor that makes this coin collectible is natural toning. When a coin is stored in the right conditions, inside albums, rolls, or coin envelopes, it can develop beautiful color tones over time. These hues may appear gold, blue, purple, or a rainbow-like mix, and when the toning is even and enhances the coin's look, it makes the piece even more desirable to collectors. There are also reports of 1995p quarters being struck on the wrong planchet. These rare errors occur when a quarter is struck on a coin blank meant for a different denomination or even a foreign coin. These oddballs are extremely valuable and are often discovered only by accident. Coin roll hunters, collectors, and hobbyists continue to search bankrolls and old change jars in hopes of finding one of these hidden treasures. And every now and then, someone gets lucky. A man in Ohio once found a nearly uncirculated 1995p quarter with a double die in a jar of old change that had been sitting in his father's closet for over 2 decades. When it was graded, the coin was certified at MS67 with a strong strike and eye-catching luster. That one find changed the way he viewed coins forever. So the next time you're holding a handful of change or you come across an old quarter tossed aside, take a moment to look closer. Check the year. Check the mint mark. Examine the details with care. Because while the 1995p Washington quarter may look like just another silver-colored coin, some of them hide stories, secrets, and value that few people ever realize. One of the most exceptional examples of this coin, a 1995p quarter with a double die obverse, broad strike error, natural toning, and a flawless mint state grade, was sold at a public auction to a passionate collector. The final hammer price left everyone in the room silent. It was $55,000, the magic of coins. That's the reason collectors are always looking, always learning, always hopeful. And if you want to keep discovering the rarest and most valuable coins from around the world, subscribe to the channel Valuable Coins All World, where stories like this come alive, and treasures are always waiting to be found.